Hey, how's it going? It's Sam Frost here, back with some more digital marketing advice. Now in today's video, continuing with my recent theme of looking at LinkedIn advertising, and just want to talk at a high level as to whether or not LinkedIn ads are worth it and whether or not LinkedIn ads are effective. So see a lot of people going on Google and asking questions like, are LinkedIn ads worth it? Are LinkedIn ads worth the money? Are they effective? Are they worth sort of pursuing as a digital marketing opportunity? I just wanted to take the opportunity to kind of discuss, I guess, my feeling and findings and sort of observations on LinkedIn ads effectiveness, having basically run quite a lot of campaigns for many different businesses through this platform, getting into some pretty high spend figures as well. So at a high level, I do believe that LinkedIn ads are worth it. It's very much dependent though on the sort of business you're running and the objectives you want to achieve. So if you're running a business like a cafe or a online store that primarily sells to consumers, so sort of everyday people rather than business customers, so that classic sort of business model that might work with digital marketing, so you've done things like Facebook ads in the past, I would say that LinkedIn advertising is possibly not the most effective channel for you. The biggest reason that LinkedIn ads tend to be quite expensive and they're more sort of specialist in your targeting. So yeah, if you're running a cafe or a restaurant or a retail store or a e-commerce site that's selling sort of widgets to the public, I really don't think that LinkedIn ads is particularly effective. You could have a look at trying it and you might be surprised with the results you get, but I think more likely than not you wouldn't see very good sort of return on your investment and you'd be disappointed with the performance you get. Same goes for really any kind of service business that's aimed at your typical sort of consumer. So if you're cleaning people's houses or going and providing driveway asphalting services or mobile car detailing or anything like that, once again I doubt that LinkedIn advertising is going to be particularly effective for you. Now that's not to say you couldn't make it work. It's not to say that there's no value to being in LinkedIn on LinkedIn as a platform. But when you look at the fact that LinkedIn ads tend to be more expensive in terms of the cost of reaching people and the cost of getting clicks and conversions, and I'll leave a link in the description of this video to another video of mine that goes into way more detail about why LinkedIn ads are expensive. But when you consider those facts, if you've got that type of business model, that sort of consumer business model, or direct-to-consumer or business-to-consumer model, LinkedIn advertising is not really worth pursuing. But where it does come into its own, in my experience, is if you're a business-to-business organization. So you've got a business that sells to other businesses, whether those are sort of small businesses or ideally sort of medium and large businesses that have a good presence on LinkedIn. In that case, LinkedIn advertising can be very, very effective indeed. So where I've seen great results with LinkedIn ads are for businesses that are sort of, in those more longer sales cycle industries or niches where you've got to try and get in front of business decision makers. So for example, your company engineers a unique solution for workplace safety and you're trying to reach workplace health and safety managers to sell them that product. Or you've got some kind of software platform that makes IT administration easier for business IT managers or IT companies that are providing those services to their own clients. In that case, LinkedIn ads is really the platform to be on in my view. In fact, I often find it for the types of clients I work with, primarily I focus on business-to-business digital marketing and consulting. For my clients, LinkedIn advertising is typically one of the most effective platforms we use. Oftentimes Google ads is very good. Sometimes we get some good results on Facebook depending on what the business is offering and who you're trying to reach. But very consistently, my clients are the types of businesses that want to get in front of people based on their job title, their professional sort of status and what they do. So they want to reach, say, engineers working at companies with 100 to 1,000 employees in the United States that are turning over, big sums of money, $5, $10, $15, $20 million plus a year, and they're in the mining and minerals and defense and aerospace industries. So targeting people really on their professional profiles like that. In that case, going and finding those people on Facebook or even potentially with Google advertising is going to be challenging because with Facebook you don't have the same level of targeting. It's more around interests and demographics. And with Google, you're dependent on people searching for your kinds of keywords. But oftentimes these specialist buyers or prospective customers, they're not searching for things very often on Google, and it can be hard to kind of differentiate between their searches and what just a standard consumer might search. And I can think of a client I've worked with in the past who sells, produces and sells very, very highly sophisticated camera kits for use in all sorts of kind of industrial hardware. But when they tried Google search advertising and sort of set it up themselves, one of the issues they found is that they were spending most of their money on ads for people looking for cameras for kind of domestic use, so digital cameras or kind of kit cameras for project equipment or putting on drones, those kind of things. And so there was a real kind of disconnect between what they thought Google search would do for them and what they could actually achieve. But on the other hand, when they went to LinkedIn and they said, we want to reach engineers and product managers at companies in the automotive industry and aerospace industries and so on, so they're real target customers who actually use their product in their own products, so take it and make it part of the products they're building and selling themselves. That was way more effective. Even though it was interruption marketing, you'd think that search is always going to be more effective because people are looking for a product or service. Well, if you're getting in front of the wrong people, it's not going to be effective anyway. So LinkedIn ads can be worth it and highly effective if you're going after the right kind of people and if you go into it with an understanding of the objective you've got. So if you want to just get your brand awareness better within your sort of target market and you've got a good grasp on what that persona looks like, then LinkedIn ads can be extremely effective. It can work really nicely for lead generation as well, although it's very much dependent on who you're trying to reach and what lead generation looks like to you. So getting someone to see a LinkedIn ad who's got no awareness of your business, but they've got a good alignment to your offer or your value message based on their persona, getting them to click on an ad and sign up for a free white paper or ebook, that might be pretty easy to do and you could get some good results. If on the other hand, your lead generation to you is getting a sales qualified lead, so someone who's put in all their details, has explained what their problem is, has said what their budget is, getting them to go from seeing you for the first time, clicking on an ad, to doing that could be very challenging indeed. And that's where you need to look at some of the other opportunities and components of the LinkedIn ads platform, like the ability to do remarketing via the LinkedIn Pixel, the ability to do things like get people to see a LinkedIn video ad and then follow them up with additional advertising based on how much of that video ad they watch, so video remarketing. All sorts of clever things you can do with LinkedIn ads. If you want to target people based on the companies they work for, so they're working for larger organizations like here in New Zealand, if you wanted to reach people working at district councils, for example, or government departments, you could go and plug those into LinkedIn Ads Manager and actually find them as targeting options. Once again, way more effective than what you could do through Facebook or Google or other ad platforms typically. So yeah, are LinkedIn ads worth it? Are they effective? Well, it depends on what you're trying to achieve. It depends on how you structure your advertising. It depends on your strategy and objectives. But at a high level, if you're trying to sell to consumers, I'd probably avoid LinkedIn advertising or be very wary of how you do it. If on the other hand, you need to target people based on the businesses they're working with, the industries they're in, their job titles and so on, and especially if you want to use it more as a sort of initial awareness building tool and a sort of soft touch point as you help those prospects through the sales journey, then definitely LinkedIn ads can be extremely effective. I love the platform. I use it day in, day out. I way prefer working with it to say Facebook advertising for the clients that I work with, but I also know that some people find it very frustrating and haven't got good results with it. Now, if you need any help with LinkedIn advertising, obviously this was quite a high level video, do feel free to leave a comment below. Always happy to answer sort of specific questions you've got. You can also email me on info@samfrost.co.nz. Please like this video if it was helpful, subscribe for more digital marketing advice, and I'll see you next time.